For the past few years, Jaybird earbuds have been my go-to for riding with music while mountain biking. I've got my hands on two of the newest offerings by Jaybird Sport, the X4s and also the Tarahs. Now the Tarahs are a little bit lower price offering. The X4s run about $130 and the Tarahs about $100. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing both of these, talking about the similarities and also the differences. Let's take a look at both of these up close. They both have a 3-button controller that have the same function. So to turn them on, you would hold down the middle button for 2 seconds. To play and pause, you would hit the middle button. Volume up, you would just tap every time you wanted to turn the volume, same with volume down. To skip a song, you would hold down the plus button or the volume up for a couple seconds, that'll skip the song. And to go back to the beginning or go to a previous track, you would hold down the minus button. When you power these on, you will get a light. The Tarah has a white light and the X4s has a green light, so I'll hold these down for 2 seconds, turn them on. There's the green light and the white light. And they connect pretty quickly. You'll get a little tone that lets you know they come on, and then when they're connected, it'll say connected. One slight difference in function between these two is how you access the assistant on your phone, so Siri or Google Assistant. So on the X4s, you would hold down the button for about 2 seconds, you'll hear a tone, and then it'll switch over to the assistant. On the Tarahs, you would actually double press the middle button. Again, you'll hear a tone, and it'll switch over to whatever assistant you have on your phone. Both of these earphones use a proprietary charger, so that's a slight downside. You can't just grab any USB charger like micro B or USB-C. You have to use the proprietary charger, so you got to make sure you carry this with you if you're traveling. So that's the way the Tarahs go in, and then the X4s, very similar. You would just line up the charger and plug them in. And just a note here, I've recently heard that it's best to charge these on a computer, not a high amperage output charger, because like I said, the amperage on a computer is lower and that will extend the life of the earphones. If you're wondering about call quality when you're talking to someone, it's very clear. I was talking to my wife the other day, and even with the controller kind of a little bit behind your head, it still is very clear. I don't know exactly how that works, but my wife said that my voice was very clear coming through these. Both of these have IPX7 waterproofing, which is really important to me because I live in a hot and humid environment in the summertime. And when I mountain bike, I cover these things in sweat, and I'll actually wipe them off with a damp cloth when I'm done with my ride. Something that's interesting is the fact that the Tarahs use Bluetooth 5.0, whereas the X4s use Bluetooth 4.1. That's based on Jaybird's website. Now, to me, that doesn't make a difference. Both of them have the same range, which Jaybird claims to be 10 meters or 33 feet. I find that to be pretty accurate. I had my phone playing in one room and I walked into another room and the music did not cut out. And speaking of that, I have not had an issue with music dropping out on these. Some of the older ones that I've used, when I had the phone in my jersey pocket, I would have the music kind of skip from time to time. With both of these earbuds, I have not had that issue. I do want to mention that with the X4s, you get a carrying bag, which is kind of nice. They used to have kind of a pleather, and this is nylon, which I think is probably going to be more durable, and it's a little bit easier to open than some of the older ones. With the Tarahs, you do not get the carrying bag. Battery life on the X4s is a claimed 8 hours, and on the Tarahs, it's a little bit less, it's 6 hours. And Jaybird claims that the charge time for both of these is 2 hours, and I found that to be pretty accurate. The earpieces differ on both of these. On the X4s, you've got an independent ear fin and ear tip. And by the way, both of these come with 3 different size ear fins and tips. On the Tarahs, you have a solid earpiece and fin, so they're connected. And honestly, I actually prefer that. It's easier to get these to where they fit into my ears. Sometimes the fin will move a little bit. Sometimes it'll come down on the X4s like that, and I have to reposition it. Whereas on the Tarahs, it's always set and you don't have to mess with it as much. And we have to talk about the phone app because I think that's what separates Jaybird earbuds from a lot of the other ones that I've used. So basically with the phone app, you can customize the EQ within both of the earphones, and it stays set even when you disconnect the earbuds from the app. So it has some preset ones that you can choose, or you can do your own. For example, with the Tarahs, I have my own custom profile, and I can change the lows, I can change the highs, the mids, whatever, and totally customize the earbuds to my listening preference. Something else that's really useful about having the app on your phone is the battery percentage. So it's up here in your notifications, and it will give you the exact battery percentage, and that will come up even if you don't have the app open. And this to me is very useful because if I'm gearing up for a ride, I can check the battery percentage and see if I need to charge the earbuds a little bit before I go out. Now let's talk about the audio quality and the fit of both of these, because those actually go hand in hand. And to do that, let me go back a little bit and talk about when I first got my hands on a pair of Jaybird Sport earbuds. It was a pair of Blue Buds X that I picked up from Best Buy. And I remember getting into my car after picking them up, opening the box, pairing them to my phone, and I was absolutely blown away by the clarity of the earbuds. But on the same hand, I was frustrated because I could not get them to stay in my ears. And when I got home, I tried all different combinations of the ear tips, the fins, and I just could not get them to get a good seal. Fit is really important with audio quality, especially for bass, because that tight seal is what's going to give you the strong bass and block out ambient noise. So I'm happy to say that as the earbuds have developed with Jaybird Sport over the years, the fit has gotten a lot better and they've maintained that really clear audio. With both of these earphones, I can get a really tight and really good seal without having to manipulate the earbuds or twist them in a certain direction. The shape of the ear fins just fit perfectly inside my ear, and as I mountain bike, they do not come loose. The only problem that I've had sometimes is the controller, because it's weighted on the right side if you're wearing them below your ears. Sometimes the controller will kind of pull, and as I get really sweaty, as my neck gets sweaty, the earbuds will pull a little bit, and the left one will kind of pull out a little bit. So from time to time, I have to pull the cord over and get it to seat back in. It's not a big deal. And the cord retention, let me go ahead and talk about that because that's actually improved over the years. So in past years, they had a retention system where they had 2 clips and you had to fold it back and forth, and that way you could get it to kind of come behind your head. And honestly, it was a little too complicated for me to mess with. I didn't feel like bothering with it and I didn't use it. The newer system I really like. And so you're able to really get these to tighten behind your head if you want to. You don't have to, but if you like that fit, this system is really nice to use. The only downside is sometimes this cord will pop out and you have to put it back in, and it doesn't go back in super quickly because it's a flat cord and you have to get it to seat down in there. Now I will say that the cord pulls through the system a lot easier on the X4s. The X4s have a little bit smoother cord and the cord's actually a little bit thicker. On the Tarahs, the cord is a little bit harder to pull through here. So this system to me is one where you set it and then you don't mess with it. So once you get it to where you like it, you know, with your bike helmet or if you run, just get it to where you like it and then don't mess with it. Now in terms of audio quality, these are excellent. Hands down the best earbuds that I've used, and that's why I keep going back to Jaybird Sport for my earbuds. Like I've mentioned in some other earphone reviews that I've done, I'm not a pure audiophile. I don't listen to lossless music. I stream my music, but I do demand high audio quality and I'm pretty sensitive to it. So I'm the guy who had a rack system stereo in his room in high school and everybody came over to listen to it. I just love good sounding audio, and these absolutely don't disappoint. And it's the clarity of the music on these that really set them apart from other ones that I've used. The highs are really crisp and clear on both of these. There's no sibilance in the highs. The vocals, the mids are really clear, and the bass is very strong without being overpowering or rumbly or muddy. Both of these, the Tarahs and the X4s, use the same audio components, so you're going to get the same audio quality with both of these. Now, I did read one review where the reviewer thought the Tarahs sounded a little bit less clear than the X4s, but like I said, I'm pretty sensitive to audio quality and I did not notice that. So to wrap up this review, let me go ahead and summarize the differences between the Tarahs and the X4s. So with the Tarahs, you don't get the little bag. Also, there's the solid earpiece, which, like I said, I actually prefer. You have a 6-hour battery life on the Tarahs versus an 8-hour on the X4s. The Tarahs have a slightly thinner, maybe less durable cord. I don't really know. I'd have to use them for a really long period of time. And the Tarahs have a thicker controller. That being said, the Tarahs are still excellent. You get the solid earpiece, which I prefer. You get outstanding audio quality, the same as you get on the X4, and you get access to the app on your phone. So hopefully this review was helpful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up. And as always, questions or comments that you have, leave those below. Thanks for watching.